Hello everybody, it's me, Get Dave Dio, and I'm here to do a quick channel update. So, the plan is to be done Chrono Trigger kinda soon, and after that we'll be hitting up my friend and yours, XCOM 2. I'm very excited about that. I'm gonna try to get it, like an episode up the very day the game comes out, but we'll see how the timelines work out. We might have to be the next day. But yeah, that's what's on the horizon, because people always ask me, as we approach the end of One Let's Play, what's coming up next. There's another game that I really have my eye on. We'll see if everything falls into place so I can record it. I've been waiting on something for a really long time. So, see how that's going? Also, I came to an epiphany the other day. Hey, thanks for everybody for supporting me on Patreon, by the way. So one of the things I released when I was working on Patreon was that, hey, I'm working on a game. And then I realized, like, Kotaku or Destructoid or someone did a story on someone who's, like, started a Star Wars Kickstarter. They weren't affiliated with Disney in any way, and they were like, hey, if you give me $8,000, I'm going to hire 2 people and we're going to make a Star Wars version of Skyrim. And then I realized that a lot of people who are working on video games on the internet don't know what they're doing, and you guys have no way of knowing what I am good at or what I know at. So, I thought I'd give you the pitch really quickly. I have been doing various small to medium video game projects for the last 15 years of my life. A lot of them are like kind of 4Xe related, which is not the project I'm working on now, but I wish I had more of the samples kicking around, but I don't. Let's boot up the old Internet Explorer. This is like a 4X thing I was working on a really long time ago. It's a different version of the interface. I wish I could show you more, but it's got an error because like this was online. It was like a kind of an MMO 4X thing I did, and the database has been down for like 10 years. But anyway, yeah, it used Flash as a front end and randomly generated a universe, and then like you could, all this stuff meant something at one point. Yeah. And then I did like a little bit of a Final Fantasy thing. This was like more UI work and a little bit of front end. This is what we had to start with. And then it was like, well, I didn't think that looked very good, even though it's kind of traditionally Final Fantasy, so I tried dressing it up a bit and came up with a map and everything. There we go. Yeah, so I drew that, and it sort of like reveals itself as you explore more and more. So anyway, the point is, I've done this sort of stuff, and again, like this screen, I would probably I'd probably simplify this a lot more now. You can see my old avatar. That's Ben Skywalker. No longer canon. I don't know anything about him other than he looked cool. Anyway, I would probably simplify this a lot more because this looks a bit like a spreadsheet, actually. But anyway, that was me. That was past Dave. He didn't know what present Dave knows now. So, I just have a little bit of a background with that, and then professionally I've been working in software development and graphic design for the last 7 years professionally. It's all I do. So I know a bit. I've worked on things as small as websites for clients. I work as part of a larger company of about between 50 and 100 people, depending if you count the other companies we own. Sometimes it's just a website for a client. Other times it's these massive multi-year enterprise-level projects or stuff for the public too. A lot of it is mapping related, which is a cool 4X crossover. Again, the game I'm working on is not a 4X one. That is because I have, sometime down the road, if I'm able to do this full time, I would like to do a 4X one. There are some gameplay problems I think no one has solved that I would like to solve, such as like late game in 4X games tends to be boring, in my opinion. It's just mopping up once you're the biggest empire. I mean, what's left? Anyway, all of this is just to say that, I was working on a game, but I realized you guys had no reason to have any confidence in me. So I just wanted to share a little bit about that. So, yeah. The plan is also that on the monthly updates I would sort of tell you about the progress that's going on in the game and various channel stuff as well, and like what's coming up on the horizon. Although I'll tell you right now, XCOM will probably take a little while to get through. The game right now, working with the art director, and we're just trying to hammer down a methodology for getting the environment art. It is a Metroidvania style game inspired by what I perceive to be the colossal failure that was Other M. It's trying to be a story-driven Metroidvania game. They did it wrong. I think I could do it right. And some people will be like, oh, that's pride. It's like, I have this beautiful case study to learn from. I don't have to make that mistake. Someone else made it for me. So, anyway, that's the plan. We'll talk about some of the details, like the story and everything, more later. But, yeah. I've been working on the 3D mesh for the main character. It's very close to done. I might add like things like buttons on her jacket and things like that. The main character, as some people deduced from looking at the little snippet of code I showed, is a woman named Reina, and that's all we'll share right now. We won't talk about motivations or the environment, but you know, it's everything you'd expect, and the goal is to sort of have it more melee-oriented combat than Metroid games. An interesting thing is, in Metroid and Mega Man games, you have a relatively powerful character, by which I mean they can take a lot of hits. They're not like Mario, where only 2 kill them. You know, Samus and Mega Man take a lot of hits. And they have long-range attacks. So the tension comes from things getting closer and closer to you, which is typically where you become more and more vulnerable. I like the inverse in the more Castlevania style, where you're primarily fighting against enemies that have long range, and the struggle is, how do I get close, because I don't have a gun. And I think that's really interesting too, and it's a bit less explored in my opinion. Anyway, so that's a little bit about the background of what we're working on. Some people, you know, don't care, and that's fine. I'm still doing Let's Plays. I do one a day, every day. That's the plan. I try to hit 20 minutes every day, or if I shortchange you one day, we pump it up, you know, in the next day or two. So that's going to be going on, and I appreciate it so much. And basically, the Patreon and the channel income help keep all of this afloat. And I really appreciate it, and I'm hoping to create something awesome that will give everybody a lot of pleasure. And the cool thing is that I have a tremendous amount of feedback on a whole bunch of different genres of games that I've been getting for 6 years, and I actually write notes about some of the criticisms people make about different games we're playing. I'm like, you know, oh, this game, I lose interest whenever Get Dave gets 51% of the galaxy, and I take notes on these and things people say about Mega Man and all that sort of stuff. I write down all of it into a little Google Drive document, and I've been learning this whole time. So I hope we can make something wonderful together. And I just wanted you guys to know that this is, yeah, who I am, because you guys only see a guy who plays video games a lot of the time. And I'll see you in the next Let's Play. Thank you for watching this.